Andrew, some big movements in the last day or so on vaccination rollout.
Indeed, Kieran. So let's start with this Friday afternoon announcement by the PM of a three-star general, JJ Fruin, to take charge of the rollout of the vaccination program.
Some years ago, you might recall, there was an operation called Operation Sovereign Borders. I put in place at that time with the Prime Minister Abbott a completely new organisational structure for getting a whole of government effect on a very big problem. Worked on that occasion, and I think moving to that footing now will further improve how we're working in the vaccination program.
This appointment has been potentially in the wings for some time. When Commodore Eric Young was announced to help the rollout, I even suggested a three-star general might be required then. We can read this as a decision by the PM that the Health Department and its Secretary Brendan Murphy are not quite doing what they were asked to do in terms of this rollout, and things need to get moving quicker. Next will be a public advertising campaign to address vaccine hesitancy. The Health Department had apparently not been keen on an ad campaign because of concerns we would not have the supply of the vaccines and the government would look silly. Still mistrust between the states and feds around whether the states are getting full information on supply. Also on Friday, the PM ticking off on a proposal for a Victorian quarantine facility outside of hotel quarantine. We've seen or read today that New South Wales are in favour of such a facility too, but the feds have rebuffed a Queensland proposal.
Now Scott Morrison wants to set his own Commonwealth criteria. Interesting, as a quarantine is a Commonwealth responsibility. If you set the criteria, you can design it, you can construct it, you can build it, you can operate it, and you can own it. Because the fact is, quarantine is a federal government responsibility.
The main resistance to the Queensland proposal appears to be a federal belief that Annastacia Palaszczuk is trying to fully replace hotel quarantine with the new system. Victoria will retain hotel quarantine despite the new non-metropolitan facility. The feds believe you need a hotel quarantine system to get the appropriate volume of Australians home and point out New Zealand also use hotel quarantine. Nevertheless, Scott Morrison really clearing the decks on domestic policy before his trip to the G7 this week as he seeks to neutralise the issues of vaccination and quarantine, Kieran.
And you will be accompanying him on that trip to the UK. It'll be very interesting to see those talks and for you to report on them for us. I'm looking forward to that.